People are totally staring, right? I bet everyone is looking at me right now, being like, what a weirdo. I know I'm right. People are watching, staring, judging. I just know. Maybe I should stop. This was a stupid idea. No one's going to watch my video anyway.
Hello. Hello.
A lot of the time, people self-sabotage and stop themselves from being happy because they're afraid of what other people might think of them. You are your main character, not the main character. Don't kill the part of you that's cringe, kill the part of you that cringes. It never helps you to think of how other people are looking at you, judging you, because it's something that happens all the time. But it does happen a little differently than you may think it does. People don't remember what they think. They judge and then they move on with their life. People are so chronically online that they may not even do that. No one cares about you until you start making some progress, and people will then either support you or tear you down. Same thing inversely. No one cares about you while you're fitting the status quo. If you start getting homeless, then people will judge you way more. Filter your friends. You're the average of the 5 people you spend the most time with, and it is your choice what to make your environment. It is your choice who you decide to be friends with and keep in your friend circle. You ought to do the things that make you happy and forget about their eyes, because they're not even looking as much as you think they are. Like I said earlier, people are so chronically online and permanently on their phone in public. Now, when's the last time you actually seen someone looking at other humans? It doesn't happen as often as you may think it does. So you immediately see a person and you immediately get an impression of whether friend or foe. And that is completely correct to have, because it's a survival instinct and we're not really going to get rid of that anytime soon. What you should remember, however, is that people judge you and then move on. Nobody cares. And I'm going to give you some examples now of some scenarios, right? You can be talking to a homeless person. Like literally just, let's say you ordered some fast food and they gave you something extra and you chat up the local homeless dude and you just give him it, that kind of thing. Or you jump into puddles, which is completely innocent to do. Or you climb trees, which again is completely innocent to do. Or you reach for signs, which again is completely innocent to do. You weren't meant to see screens all freaking day. Go outside and look at the clouds. People were gonna judge you anyway, so do the things that make you happy. And remember the thing I said, if you're happy, you're winning. Happiness is equal to enjoyment minus your dopamine baseline, or happiness baseline as I called it in my video, but you get the idea. Point 2, smile more. And I don't mean necessarily smiling with a reason, also fake smiling. And let me give you some evidence. Dr. Isha Gupta, yes, a neurologist from IGA Brain and Spine, explains that a smile spurs a chemical reaction in the brain, releasing certain hormones, including dopamine and serotonin. Dopamine increases our feelings of happiness, and serotonin release is associated with reduced stress. Meaning that if you fake smile, let's say you're having a horrible day and you like, I don't know, go to the bathroom, wash your face or something, and just look at yourself in the mirror and you fake smile and you force yourself to do it, like you actually straight up count the seconds really autistically, 30 seconds of fake smiling will make you less stressed and happier. It's the muscles being activated that causes the release of dopamine and serotonin, not necessarily your feelings. Because your body can't tell what your feelings are. Your body reacts to stimuli. So if you stimulate the muscles that are meant to smile, like the ones you smile with, you were gonna feel happier artificially anyway. Now, obviously it would be better. Like, I'm not gonna sit here and tell you that if you fake smile, that's somehow gonna make you magically happy. But if anything, abuse the fact that it'll make you less stressed about your situation. Smile more to be happy when you are unhappy. When you are happy, then make sure to smile as much as possible so that you have a reservoir of like dopamine and serotonin for when you're not so happy. And then you can either use that reservoir to invest in smiling more so that you have more of it, which is what you should do, or use that to keep you sane throughout those hours where you are unhappy. Remember to smile more also, because it's just attractive. And I don't just mean to the opposite sex, it's attractive to people. People will listen to you more and look at you in the eyes and not be repelled by you and not be perceived as foe. You know how I told you when you meet strangers, it's instantly, you get a first impression, friend or foe, right? People are more likely to see you as a friend if you're a smilier person. Just smile more. And remember, along with smiling, to breathe fully. Just breathe and look at people. Smile. It makes them more comfortable at talking to you and less creeped out. Just like complaining about the circumstances does nothing to change them, choosing not to smile because it's cringe. I'm not a smiley person. I need to keep my mysterious self. I don't want any wrinkles. Is fucking stupid. Smile more because it objectively makes you feel better if you don't feel good. If you need a reason to smile, well, let me give you some. Let's say there's pretty flowers. That's pretty cool. You don't see that all the time. Smile. That's nice. Or a big ass tree. Hanging out with friends. Well, ideally, you would be smiling when you're hanging out with your friends. Like I said earlier, you decide your environment. So if you're not smiling around your friends, then that's your fucking problem. Not because being with friends should make you smile. It should. And then, I don't know, going on adventures or traveling, etc. There's a billion reasons to smile. But you don't need a reason to smile because, like I said earlier, it objectively makes you happy to smile. And then you find reasons to smile for real, so you get the idea. Number 3, picking something, literally anything, anything, and just working extremely hard at it. There is no life where you just don't try at anything and you flame people for trying. There's no story without risk. You don't choose your starting hand. That's true. No one's going to say that that's not the case. But by the time that you can watch and understand this video on YouTube, which requires you to have a smart device and speak English, you have everything you need. You already chose 99% of your circumstances. You chose them. You chose them. You have access to all the information you need. You just won't take action. Complaining does nothing. Working is making progress toward changing said circumstances that you don't like. What you need to think about is, what can I do to change X aspect of my life? You'll start to realize that you can come up with something for basically every aspect of your life you want to improve in, because there is so much information out there online. But indifferently from that, if you just used your brain, you can come up with the vast majority of self-help advice yourself. You don't need me or other people to tell you. You can think about it, but you won't because you're lazy. So these videos serve more as wake-up calls where you realize, oh, I agree, this is facts, but you could have come up with it yourself. And I'm going to give you some examples now of things you can change in your life. Think how to make more money. If you're not satisfied with the amount of money you're making right now, you can think of how to get more women. If you're not satisfied with the women you get right now, you can think of how to get more famous. If you're not satisfied with people's respect of you or recognition, so you want to become famous. And then your connection to nature. You're not connected to nature. There's things you can do to feel more connected to nature. There's things you can do to change your literal environment, like your country and your city, if you don't like it. There's ways you can change survival, in general. Basically anything. And the best part is that everyone else online is already teaching you this, like I said. And they're teaching it far better than some random person teaching you generic knowledge can, because there's specific experts for all of these fields. The main thing is that you are fulfilled with your work, which will make you fulfilled in life. For money, the vehicle is what matters. You got to think of what vehicle do you use to make money, because you walk for 10 minutes, you get a certain distance. You bike for 10 minutes, you get a certain distance. You drive for 10 minutes, you get a certain distance. You fly for 10 minutes, you get even further. That kind of thing, right? Your vehicle is how much money you make, because everyone has 24 hours in a day, but you have 24 hours in a day and you work your 8-hour shifts. And then there's a rich CEO that works equally as much as you, but makes way more money. So change your vehicle to make money. When it comes to every aspect of your life, what matters most is your why. Why are you doing anything that you're doing at all? For what reason? 4, stop waiting for adventure. No good story, or even a story at all has ever started with a main character scrolling. No main story has the plot of the main character watches other main characters do stuff all day. That's not a thing. And even if you imagine a character that would do that sometimes, you wouldn't include it in the story, would you? Because it's boring as fuck. That's not a story. Nobody likes that. You have to do shit to do shit. And remember, you're the main character of your life. Just imagine how boring it must be from a third person's perspective whenever you scroll. Like, actually imagine, right? You're in self-improvement. You do some cool stuff. Every once in a while, you go out and record a really, really fun video. And the next day, you're home and you should be editing said video. But instead of editing said video, you're scrolling. And then try to disassociate and see yourself in third person and slap yourself in the face. What are you doing? Straight up, stop scrolling. This is so self-explanatory. Just stop scrolling. To the person looking at you, right? Like when you disassociate, it's just filler. Nobody likes filler in anime, right? Well, that's what scrolling is. It's filler. It's nothing. You're not progressing the story. If you have on average 5 hours of screen time, like me right now. Well, not right now, but like I used to have 5 hours of screen time per day. And you're in your 20s, like me, I'm 22 years old, you'll end up living around 12 years of your life just looking at a fucking screen. And what's even more embarrassing is that we know, let's not lie to ourselves, we know not all 5 of those hours were spent scrolling. Some of them were spent. Just remember, there is no story without risk. Try getting good at a skill. Try talking to those people. Try romancing that girl. Don't cut yourself out of life because you're scared to try. My brother had a friend. I always knew he was a terrible influence for him, so I always told my brother to get rid of him. He never did because my brother has, like, his ego's too high, so he doesn't listen to my advice. But then eventually he did. And then that friend came back to like spout hate on us for trying to do YouTube together. Like me and my brother trying to do YouTube together. And he sent some messages. He like circled our video view counts and said, cringe. Like any person that ever became famous doing YouTube didn't start with videos like this. Like when you learn any skill, you don't start terrible at it. Of course you start terrible at it because you need to try to get good. Flaming people for trying is the most beta small you can do. Let me make that very clear. Don't ever be ashamed of trying. Don't ever be ashamed of trying because most people won't even do that. And some people, some really horrible people will even shit on you for trying. They'll try to tear you down and demotivate you and demoralize you because misery loves company. It's lonely to be miserable. It's not so bad to be miserable if you're with other people. So they're going to try to keep you miserable. Cut those people out of your life. I know that's the hardest part. Frankly, that's the hardest part. I understand. Because you know all of this stuff already that you should do. You know already that you should smile more, that you should not care about what other people think, that you should be working hard on something, on achieving a goal, that you should stop waiting for adventure. You know this. But the hard part is your environment. So change your environment. Change your environment, fix your mental. When your mental is fixed, then you can take action. First thing, you need to believe in yourself. Then you need to acquire the knowledge to do, which most of the time you can think of yourself. If not, just look it up. There's so many experts in every single field you want to improve in. And then when you have the knowledge, you do. And then when you've done, you keep doing. That's the formula for success. Believe you can, learn how, do, keep doing. These 4 steps. Remember that. Etch that into your brain. And with that, I hope to have given you a simple to follow guide on how to live a moderately better life than what you may already be living. But if you're clicking on a video in hopes to better your life, then you understand that there are ways your life can be improved, right? So I hope that some of these points helped you out. And if anything, I hope that the main guidelines that I just gave you now could help you out in your life to remember, right? To achieve any goal you have to believe in yourself, know how, do, keep doing. Much love. Remember to inspire all of your friends to better themselves as well. And remember, though, that even though you have no enemies, not everyone's your ally. And secondly, you don't owe them to save them. It is other people's responsibility what their life ends up like. So all you can do is choose who you want to help and try to guide them the right way. But then if they walk the path or not is their decision. And if they choose not to, cut them out of your life. Don't end up like this fucking loser. Anyway, goodbye.